Right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the You Smile, I Smile podcast. I'd like to say big love to everybody that have subscribed to the YouTube channel, followed the Instagram page and all of the other good stuff. You're all part of the family. So today I have another guest. I've known this guest for 18, 19 years. There's some things that we're going to find out about the guest today that I don't know. So, what can I say? Jamie has been a part of the community youth services. He's had a studio in Newport for many years. As I say, I've known him for 18, 19 years. I first met Jamie using his studio, which was based in the Riverfront Theatre at the time. And along with many other rappers, singers, MCs from South Wales and the surrounding areas, I'm pretty sure they've passed through Jamie's space and still continue to do so until this day. They called the Play It Loud Studios, based under St. Joseph's Boxing Gym. Jamie has moved over today and the service is still going, and Jamie is still part of the youth services to this day, which we'll get more into through the episode. So I can talk for hours, but we're going to get straight into it. Jamie Winchester, thank you for being with us today, and how are you?
Thank you for having me, Gavin. I'm fantastic, thank you. No complaints from me.
Brilliant, James. So, James, we're not going to beat around the bush. We're going to take you straight back and we're going to get into it. We'd like to tell the people where you was born and what year you was born.
Hastings.
1973. And for the people that don't know, Hastings is close to
Brighton, Eastbourne, Folkestone, on the coast down there.
On the coast, brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, and James. So you was born down there, Hastings. So how many siblings have you got, James?
2 brothers.
2 brothers, no sisters.
Harry and Terry.
Harry and Terry, amazing. And the name of your junior high school was?
Guestlin. And when I was in Hastings, it was Thomas Peacock.
Did you enjoy school?
Great time. I wasn't there loads, but it was great.
Can you tell us why you wasn't there loads?
I like to go to work instead with my dad.
Right, those questions I was going to pop furthermore, but we're going to get straight into that. When you say you'd like to go work with your dad, what was it that your dad was doing for work which enables his son that's in school time to go and work with him?
Well, as I got a bit older, let me start that again. My dad was a scrap metal dealer and stuff, and he had a pub, and he had a skateboard shop at one time. There's nothing he didn't have, but it was more scrap metal yard. He grew up on a scrap metal yard, and me and my brothers got into it quite early. So we like to be chopping up the copper, sorting it from the brass to the copper, the iron and everything, weighing in the lead. We loved it.
Amazing. Yeah, I can imagine that being in school, knowing that was taking part outside of school, and you could be doing it. That's where I would have liked to have been as well, James. So, what age did you finally leave education?
I think I was 14. I'm pretty sure it was 14.
Yeah, amazing.
Because we moved away at that point, and there was no point joining another school, and I had jobs to do. So,
I hope you don't mind me saying this. It sounds like a bit of a traveller family, even though I know you wasn't.
well, you know, you got to create your own luck, and if it's not happening around your area, you got to go somewhere where it is happening, right?
Perfect. This leads me to the next question. Do you know when you left Hastings? Mm-hmm. And obviously now we're sat in Wales, we're sat in Newport, and I've always known you to be in Newport. When you left Hastings, where was the next place that you moved?
So, age 11, we went from Hastings to Bridgewater, Somerset. That's where we went. I was 11. And that would have been 1984 or 85, something like that.
And that's a beautiful place, Somerset, so I bet it was like you went on holiday.
Oh, I loved it there. I had great friends, I'll never forget them. We was in Blake's school there. I was in the Blake school. I had 2 comprehensive schools. I had Thomas Peacock, which was in Rye near Hastings, and then Blake School, which was in Bridgewater. So I had to make all new friends at the age of 11 there.
Which is difficult for anyone, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, I'd say so. But it was all right. I had a great time. We went there. My dad had 200 quid to his name. And we went there and we lived in a bed and breakfast for a few months.
So things got rocky in Hastings with the scrap dealing, I take it, and you kind of lost everything.
In the end, yeah.
Probably go as far as saying bankruptcy?
I would say something like that, yeah. Nothing to do with my dad's fault, but my dad will dig anyone out of holes. Do you know what I mean? And then
I can see it in it. But he's definitely passed that on to you, which we'll get into more of that anyway, because All right. I mean, so then you went to Somerset and you were staying there. So how did you finally end up moving over to Wales?
So in Somerset, my dad found a yard in the end, a small unit. We built up the trade again, done flyers, done rag and bone, plastic, cardboard, everything, metal. And then we ended up putting skips in South Wales and Bristol, as far down to Swansea as well. And then where we used to sell our plastic, our offcuts, you know, UPVC plastic windows, AMF Plastics, Avondale Road, Cwmbran, right? That's where we would take that plastic. They loved my dad in there. They loved what he did, what he was about, and everything. And then they offered him a job. And my dad had never been employed. He was always self-employed. And he was like, do you know what, guys? Do you want to move to Wales? He was like, yeah, come on in. So we moved to Wales.
So we've got the plastic company at the space in Cwmbran to thank really for you being sat here. And you got your father's, you got your father's work ethic for that. But so obviously being in the scrap and the work and that side, moving on, am I right in saying that you ended up getting a job within retail?
Yeah.
Was that many years? Am I skipping forward too far now? So you've come to Wales, and how old are you when you got to Wales?
I was either 14 or 15, probably, let's just say very early 15.
Was you into your music by this point?
Yeah.
Heavily?
Yeah.
And it was always hip hop?
I loved my hip hop, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a set of decks by the time you moved to Wales?
Yeah, I bought them.
So you was already a DJ before you came here?
Yeah.
So when you, obviously...
I can tell you a very quick connection here that we might have. So when I was still living in Somerset, I entered the DMC Mixing Championships.
Yes.
Which was in Swansea. I think that was 1987 or 1988. Went to Swansea with my dad and my mate Carl. And then all the DJs were there. Met some boys from Cwmbran. I met Jaffa from Cardiff. Yeah. XL, Buzz and all that.
Shit, ain't that lot as well, man. Good bunch of guys.
Brilliant guys.
Still flying the flag, doing what they're
Still
doing.
killing it. Jaffa, 40 years in the game this
DJ
week.
for 40 years, seen the post. Yeah.
And I didn't really know him then, did I? Obviously, but I never forget, right? I never forget. Someone went on and done some scratching and everything, and after they'd done it, my mate Cole looked at me and went, "We just well go home now, wouldn't we?" It was so funny
because they was
killers. They was killers, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there at that point at all. And then it was good. But then what happened, Gavin? I'll try and be quick.
No, don't be quick. Take your time. We want to get this across properly.
So that happened there. Made some friends. We goes back to Bridgewater. Whatever. A few months later, me and my dad dropped a load off into AMF Plastics. We're coming back down Cwmbran Drive really early in the morning, and all of a sudden my dad goes, "That's that boy, isn't it? The one of them DJs." I'm like, "It is, isn't it, Dad?" We stopped, and it was Maya, you know Maya? DJ XL, Whackmore. "Hello, mate, hello." Changed numbers, this, that, and the other. Goes home, rings him up. He ends up coming down to stay with us, and then I come up and stay with him, right? When I moved to Wales, 400 yards from his house.
Wow, were they expecting that it was going to be that?
Not at all.
Did he not?
No.
Can you tell me then, if you moved 400 yards from his house, where did you both bump into? Did you ring him and then say?
We knew. Yeah. So
did you walk to the shop and bump into?
Yeah, no, because we had phone numbers, and that, because Maya would come down to mine, I would come up to there. His mother cooked me my first meal in Wales. Do you know what I mean? And she was lovely. And that was that. We used to take his dad's pigeons back to Bridgewater, and we would release them. They would get back to Cwmbran before we got to Cwmbran. We'd leave at the same time.
Racing pigeons.
I'm chopping it everywhere here, haven't I?
No,
but
that's
then
brilliant.
When I said we're moving and stuff, where are you moving to? I can't remember the conversation exactly, but I ended up 400 yards down the road from him. Imagine that.
And you're still tight to this day?
Yeah.
What a DJ.
What a DJ.
Okay, so on the point of DJing, what was the first vinyl that you bought?
So I know the group. I don't know what the name of what song it was, and it was in Woolworths in Hastings, the one by the roundabout, and it was an ABBA song. Because yes, but they were funky anyway. No matter what you say, they are funky.
Tell me.
Yeah. And definitely back then, from my opinion, the B side was always the better side.
Why is it like that on a live vinyl?
I think it's what the band wanted to make, and the A side was what the label wanted them to put out. Maybe, I don't know.
You've got a point.
Yeah, but I would always flip to the B side. Whenever Dad would buy records, I'd flip the B side straight away.
Yeah, I don't know, the vinyl I used to buy, when I flip and go to the B side, it was the instrumental and the a cappella.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to love the instrumental, obviously, yeah. So we're going to move forward. You're DJing, you're well into it. Are you creating beats by this time? Are you producing beats, or are you just more into the beat juggling, you're scratching?
So it was, got my decks. I'll never forget my granddad, he said, you won't use them. And I still got them now, I've had them refurbished. Of
course you have.
The ones, but I bought an album called by Ultramagnetic MC's Critical Beatdown, and I heard the beats and I thought I want to make beats, and it just went from there. So I was a DJ first. I saw Jam Master Jay.
You did live?
No, on MTV.
Yeah.
He had red flight cases, silver turntables, so that's what I had to get.
It blew your mind.
I worked all through the summer holidays and I went to Reading and bought my turntables.
Because at the time he's the best and you were the best.
Yeah.
And you've been like that with your equipment since. All the machines you buy, all the mics you buy, your interfaces you buy, everything's always been, you've carried that through since then, I think, haven't you?
I tried to do my best to get nice quality stuff, make it last. Yeah.
So, moving forward, you've ended up, am I right in saying that you not joined the group, but you and a bunch of boys was in a Pen Talk lab, which is a group, a crew, MCs, producers, DJs. Am I right in pushing it forward to that?
In such, so I'll give you the quick version.
Yeah.
I done a song with, I've got to mention someone, he might have been mentioned before on the podcast. There's a guy called Benji Webb, I don't know if you know him. I done a song with him, a vinyl, and when we was promoting it in Birmingham, he introduced me to a guy called Cash Rex. And Cash Rex is a diamond, right, in Birmingham. He's the guy, when artists come in from all over the country, he was the guy that would take them around and host them. Wicked rapper, you know, he was called Cash the Master as well back in the day. So Benji hooked me up with him, we done a track, we done a 12-inch, and then he introduced me to a guy called Purge, MC Purge, Christopher Golden Singh, and we made a group and it ended up being Pen Talk. Purge come down, and we made an album in my mum and dad, in mum and dad's house in the wardrobe. We done a demo tape and it got us a record deal, and we was called Pen Talk, and we had some great times.
I bet you did.
All amazing rappers, and we have to say today, DJ Jurassic, Christopher White, he passed away 23 days today. So we're here doing this podcast.
Yeah, God rest
you. And so rest in peace, Jurassic, and big love to your family and kids. Yeah,
love to all his family. For all of the Pen Talk stuff, and when I've been growing with you through the last 18 odd years, there's a name that used to get brought up by you, and over the years then as I've grown, I've seen the name and done some reading, and he's popped up. Soweto Kinch. Your relationship with him, was he in the Pen Talk?
He was, yeah, and still is. We're still there.
Of course,
yeah. Rapper, freestyler. Listen, all these guys are dangerous on the mic. Very dangerous. And Soweto was exceptional, and he also made beats. Yeah. And he also played saxophone.
This is what I was going to go.
Yeah, and he's just incredible. He won 2 Mobos.
Yeah. Jazz. And when he won the Mobo, I remember one year that the Mobos took Jazz away from the awards. Right, okay.
And they weren't having it. So they got that changed. Soweto built up a little team of people when they got the Jazz back, I believe.
Is that category still there now, or is it not?
I think it is, mate. I'm not 100% sure. But
what's your, being someone who's into hip hop and making beats, scratching and whatnot, obviously sampling would have been something that you was into. Does that mean jazz plays a part in your life also?
Yeah, look, if you think how many types of jazz there is, I love the fusion.
Can you just explain to me and the people what the fusion and funk is a bit more?
So really edgy, off-key basses, sounds just coming from everywhere, all just mad stuff.
Not so much subtle and...
Yeah, just for me, sounds like funk as well, can sound like funk. Some really strange sounds, and it was recorded maybe the stuff I really love. Like if I pick up an album, if it's 1970 to 1978, I'm just buying it.
You know you're in.
Because maybe it was the instruments, the way they recorded it, what the bands were, how they was playing. I just loved it.
So that must have come through in a lot of the beats you was making, that 78 jazz.
Yeah, you can get those sounds and just one piano stab that's just dirty, and just loop that piano stab and spread it across the keys and play it in.
Would you have been you spreading them across the SP1200?
Yeah.
Or since then?
Yeah.
What other machines have you dabbled with? But is SP your favourite?
My first one was this Yamaha thing with 4 pads. Then I bought a Roland I think it was S500 or something. It was a Roland keyboard. That's what me and Cash made that record on. And then after that, and that would be triggered by the Amiga with Cubase. Then I bought an Akai S950, which is the white wrap thing that you see. And again, the Amiga would trigger that. You put beats in there. But then I got the SP1200, and I just loved it. And that can trigger the S950 as well. And then I went for the MPC 3000s, and I've got the X as well.
For anybody that's listening and is not too up to date and savvy with equipment that we're talking, these are beat making machines. And if you slow it down and pause in, you go and do a little Google. It might even be something that you're interested in. Mm-hmm. But I know that the SPs and what we're talking might throw people off. But for those who know, these are the dog's nuts. So that's what Jamie's been. Jamie, I'm going to throw us back a little bit. We've gone into the crew and the music and whatnot. So when you was working in retail, where was it you was working?
So in Cumbrian I started, and it was called Astral Sports at the time, and I went in as a what's it called? You go for 2 days a week, and then the other day you do paperwork, an apprentice, something like that. So I'd done that, and it was Astral Sports in Cumbrian, opposite Boots, in the mall, and I'd done that, and then I worked my way up into manager's position. It was Astral Sports, then Olympus Sports bought it, and then Sports Division bought it. That's owned by Tom Hunter, who's a guy from Scotland, absolute genius of a man.
Yeah.
And I love that era was brilliant in there, really good. So I had my team, and I was a manager there, and I would go to other stores and open other stores up, do store training. My store was a store of excellence. My staff were all just incredible. Do you know what I mean? They went on to be promoted.
Do you think that makes the shop do better sales in general?
Yeah, because it's a happy environment. And Cumbrian, back then anyway, it was a gold mine. It was a gold mine. Do you know what I mean? We done very well in there. And then, but then JB bought it. I didn't really like their culture.
JB?
Yeah, they bought it. They bought it sort of like just after the Spice Girls started slowing down. But when the Spice, I'm telling you now, we could have no money in the till, right? When the school kicked out, do you remember the Galaxies, the big orange or lime Galaxies, and the popper top trousers?
I had a lot of tops, Jay.
I wouldn't even put them on the shelf.
They'd be gone.
I would just put them in the box. R3, mum and dad's come in with their kids, the lot with
Adidas poppers.
Just fly out the window, just kill it.
They come back, haven't they, poppers and stuff? We won't talk about that.
Yeah, they come back. JJB come in, didn't like that, but luckily I was poached by someone come in from Electronic Boutiques, which is a computer store, game store, which was opposite. I thought it was a bookstore because computer games back then were in boxes.
Yeah.
They come in and said, I'm such and such from Electronic Boutique. We've been monitoring your store and we like how it's presented, we like the staff, would you like to come and have a meeting and maybe join us? So I had an interview with them. They offered me a job and I said, I'll come as long as I can bring all my staff with me that want to come, that want to leave JJB. Some of them had pensions there, stay there. So I took loads of my staff and we went into Electronic Boutiques and we turned that store around. Within 6 months it was flying.
I can picture in my head, it's taking me back to that time, and it feels like I've watched a film or a series or something where it could be where you've started this shop and this man comes in and he's got his team and then next thing you know the sales are through the roof and everyone's happy and the guy's like, I can picture that. So then, do you know, you was working in the retail, obviously you built yourself up to a manager, you got yourself a brilliant team and you know what you're capable of in that field. So then, You obviously got your wife Helen at this time. If you don't mind me mentioning her name, we can cut that
Yeah.
out at the end if
We
you
wasn't
want me
married at the time.
to. Yeah. So, do you children?
Not at the time. Oh, hold on. So my children. So, quick version. So with Game bought Electronic Boutique. I then started managing the stores in Cardiff and doing them, and then I was what you call a satellite manager. So I had about 20 stores. Train the staff up, make them amazing, make them happy, and then my Daniel was born when I was in Cardiff because he used to come in at that point.
So, I know for any man that's in a stable job, got a partner, got a newborn or a young child, stability plays a big part in everyone's life. We're all after that. People like to be comfortable. Obviously, you being not seeing your father lose what they had, your parents lose what they had, and build it again and move about and whatnot. Obviously, it made you a little bit braver to take the leap. But can I ask, what made you take the leap of leaving the job that you was in, the management, and open? Was that the next thing? Open when you left retail and the management?
Yes.
Was straight away the next thing opening the studio in the Riverfront Theatre?
This is how I did it. So when I was with Game, I also left Game for another company, but I couldn't stand them. But the mad thing is, Game rang me and said, "We've got a bigger position for you. Do you want to come back?" I said, "Oh, brilliant! I'll come back." And that lasted about 2 years. But then it got really boring.
Yeah.
Really boring. You couldn't use your edge. You just had to stick to plans. So I said, "I'm bored." I ended up getting a job with. Can I mention the store names?
Everybody you want.
Phones for You. That was the worst decision ever. Like, oh my god. And then I was at a party and I met someone and I ended up working for Get Connected, which is a local man from Monmouth, Hereford. Great little company, little stores in little villages and stuff. Okay, everyone needs a phone. That was so easy. Then I started doing the studio stuff. There was a lady called Kath Wright, and she'd done a lot of youth services in this town. She was amazing. She was my friend's girlfriend way back, and my now brother-in-law's mate's sister. She introduced me into to somebody who works in a youth service. Kath Wright's passed away now, so rest in peace, Kath Wright. And then I'll try and do this as quick as possible.
No, don't you rush. This is great.
So I started doing workshops and stuff, and then I was introduced to Nick Cadman from the Riverfront.
Oh, what
Remember him? I've seen him last year in Thailand. He's amazing.
Is he living in Thailand?
He is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Him and his wife and his daughter. And they showed me the studio in the Riverfront. I thought, okay, what do you want to do? So we come to an agreement where I sort of like take over that studio. But as you just said, I've gone from a big, let's not say big, a nice salary.
Yeah, comfortable.
And I've got this and I've got Get Connected. So I'm like, okay, I've got to slowly build a studio up and balance things. Now I left Get Connected when things got a bit busier, and then I went to Woolworths just do merchandising because my mate was the area manager for Woolworths, so he knew what I could do. I just went in there and just made the shop look nice and had a good time with the staff and everybody. So I've done part-time retail while I was building things up for 2 years.
Yeah.
Two and a half years before I could then finally leave that and just do music full-time.
That's amazing, Jay. I've always been intrigued about that. Like, it's not really something that I've sat and asked you over the time. So, as far as I can remember, when I was young, if I'm right, anyway, I think I'm right in saying this. You used to come to Orway Youth Club when I was still in the youth club.
Yeah.
I can remember on the side of the chip shop, the old one, like, and you know Steph from Cardiff?
Yes, yeah.
Well, like, I remember then because Steph was working in there then as well. So, Steph, if you end up seeing any of these, lots of love to you as well. Steph's gone on to do brilliant things as well, Jane. So in the youth club and everything was going well. The youth services then, we'll just have a little touch on the youth services then, Jane. Amazing for me. I'll just say what it done for me. Growing up, the youth clubs in every area in Newport meant a lot to me because the Chill Zone, Orway, Pell Mill, the YMCA, Bettis, they were the ones that I would have used and they was the only place I could go for me to use decks. I had belt drive decks.
Newmark.
Yeah, brilliant. I loved them. I still got them. But to go on direct 1210s was what I couldn't afford. Would be me going to the youth club. Back then, like the youth club, we used to go there, and they used to take us to like go karting. We used to go to like film studios, Cadbury's factories. It was like 6 days a week that we could go to the youth club, right? And it's like every evening it would be open from 4:30 till 8 o'clock or something. And I mean, it's tuck every like just computers. That was what I was brought up on. Obviously, you've seen that because you worked in those services and you brought me into work in those services. We're not slating nobody because they do great things. Do you think it's died down, Jamie, over the years?
Well, I think I mean budgets have been. It's horrible to say all this.
This is why
cut and there's
Yeah. So this is what I don't want from the podcast, to make it like me and you were sat here saying there's nothing going on for nobody, because that's a lie. There's stuff being whatever kind of
stuff going on.
Which we're going to touch on that too. I didn't want to make it like there's nothing being done for the youth. I wanted to put out there what it done for me within communities, and I just wanted to ask: is it still thriving, and is there still in each estate a place where the youth can go at the minute? And is there youth clubs that are open like they used to be? And the reason, like you just touched on, is the reason not because of funding?
Well, apparently funding's been cut. Do you know what I mean? Here and there and everywhere, all over the country and stuff. So no funding, no facilities, or less facilities. But there are things going on. I mean, Kieran opened something up, hasn't he? Kieran Porter, Urban is still going. And
Kieran Porter's opened something up?
Yeah, he's got something going on. We're doing stuff with Urban. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
I do stuff in the studio still.
What we're going to do, actually, sorry to cut you short, I'm pretty rude when I'm doing these podcasts. It's something that I learn not to do. We're going to dive straight into the urban circle thing, because when I'm talking, saying, is there anything going on in Newport youth service wise, and we're trying to think, there is something that I know goes on, so we'll touch it on that, is urban circle. Yeah. They also played a big part within my creative space, my friendship group, which I still have a lot of friends that are working, yourself being one. Without getting too deep into it, because I'm sure that I'll have other members that are part of Urban Circle in as well, if you don't mind. But could you just give us a little briefing on what Urban Circle is about, what Urban Circle still offers, and what is taking part currently within Urban Circle? Could you just...
Okay.
Sorry if that throws you off.
No, it doesn't throw me off a little bit. But no. So Urban Circle, or a youth organisation, next year would have been going for 20 years.
Amazing.
They haven't had a premises to do youth facilities as a base for a while, as you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's based in the uni. So they do still do some reach out stuff, do some projects, this, that and the other. Still getting young people through bits of education stuff and certificates. There should be some news soon where they've got a space. Do you know what I mean? So let's fingers crossed where we've got a space, and we can then put this on, put that on, and put everything on.
All the stuff that we've just previously touched on, and come back to like...
That's right.
So just for everybody to know, there's for any parents that are here, maybe, I don't know if anybody listens to this and you're a parent and you've got young teenage children, just so you're aware, things are going on behind the scenes, and there is people in our city at the minute that want good things to go on for your children. In creative space, arts, music, football, sports, and just somewhere for them to go and be safe. And people haven't just given up. There is good people like Jamie and Urban Circle out here that are working to build and keep this alive in our city. So, Urban Circle, we praise you. We're going to move on a little bit, Jamie. Mm-hmm. What do you get from working in these environments?
What?
Personally.
If you can imagine this, right? I'm a people person anyway. I like to chat.
Yeah.
You know what me and you were like.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? We'd 3 hours on the phone call, and the dinner's burning. Do you know what I mean? So, if you can imagine looking at it through my eyes or through the young person's eyes, I'll meet someone. Already they might be happy, they might not be happy, they might be confident, not confident. They might have all sorts going on. After a few meetings, and then find out I'm as crazy as them anyway, and you start to see them crack a smile, start to see them relax, start to see them maybe get better at what we're trying to achieve in the studio, whatever we're trying to do. See them, you know, being the first one to say, how was your day today? Do you know how good that is?
Some rewarding purpose.
Yeah. It's like, I'm getting emotional now thinking about it. It's like I think of a lot of situations that we've been in and you've seen it.
Yeah.
not all kids are suffering and having a terrible life. Let's not paint that, and there's some kids that just need the extra young person, people that extra push to get to where the next level is. But you got some that are just closed.
Yeah.
They're not enjoying as much as they should be, and it's our job to open them up and say, come on, let's have it. Do you know what I mean? And imagine seeing them 3-4 weeks later and they're a different person.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it and what we get out of it.
And you've seen that, obviously, haven't you?
I see it a lot. I love it.
The passion in your eyes there. Yeah. It's undeniable, your passion about these things. It says a lot about you. It says a lot about you anyway. There's great humans all over the world, and sometimes I think that we're on this treadmill of life, right? And the way the world has us, where there's men out there like yourself that want to do what they're doing, but what they're also doing is providing for the family, living and doing this thing, and they haven't got they got a purpose, and it's to feed their family, but they're not. The happiness isn't there, and you must have had the sense of purpose. Besides financial gain from the job that's done, it fulfills your soul much more. For you to sit there and get emotional just by one question and speak like that, for me that's much more fulfilling than going to, I'm not even going to say something else, because it'd be like I was putting someone else's job down if they weren't in it.
I understand.
Because it's only my opinion, but I appreciate someone like yourselves who do that, James.
And imagine how good this feels as well. Like I can give you an example. 2 weeks ago, 3 of the lads that I've been working with over the years and stuff, and I know them, I know the parents and that, and they say, do you want to come up for a walk and mountain climb on Saturday at 5 in the morning? They're asking me this. So there's nothing better, is there?
No,
do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
They like me, or they want to take me up and mug me. Do you know what I mean? So, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
No, it is. And it has led for every relationship to turn this way. When I was 18, Jake, maybe even 17 turning 18, there was something called Legal and General, which was a service, and we went over to Gwent College, and it was the first time I took part in youth work myself, and I'd done music development, and I sat down and had a group of young children, and we was for the week in the half term, and at the end of the week their parents came in, we did a concert, and I had a group of 4 to 5 young children, not young, teenage and whatever, and we made a track, and then they performed it, and when they see me to this day, they come up to me, remember this, they're grown up there as well, they're in their 20s, and they mention it, but...
Gavin, I think was that City Streets?
It was called City Streets, right? Because we had a t-shirts about it.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd done a big project together. And I remember that, and I remember finding out about child carers where they look after their parents. Remember the 3 young ladies?
Yeah.
And
I know.
But they done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Legal and General. Can I jump on the Legal and General?
Yeah, please. That's what I mentioned.
That there was also. Without being able to do City Streets and the one in Bridgend, that we learned. Do you know what I mean?
Can we just, so I can interrupt you, just for the listeners, City Streets Legal and General, another quick briefing of the service and what it provided, just so that people know what we're talking about.
Oh, sorry.
What it was about. No, I should have given, but I want you
We're on one, aren't we?
Yeah, I want you to just just let us know, or give the people more of an insight of what this service was.
So, should we talk about Legal and General?
Yeah, let's do that one.
So, Legal and General, what it was, when I was based in the Riverfront, we was based in the Riverfront, the Legal and General would help sponsor the Panto, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. But this year, I don't think they wanted to sponsor the Panto. I believe that's what they normally do, but they want to sponsor something. So we come up with an idea. Let's obviously do what we're good at and what we like doing, which is workshops based on a final piece of performance in the Riverfront Theatre.
Yeah.
Oh, we like that. What type of groups should we have? So, well, let's have every group we can get. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so we'll have some young people who maybe need some direction. Brilliant. We'll have some young people maybe got an interest in music, but they need some help getting better. Some young people have maybe got some disabilities, etc. And we've got some young people who are quite advanced and they maybe need, let's just make a video and do-do-doosh.
Mm-hmm.
And then the condition was this, Gavin. We'd do that, but I ain't having them all separate.
All together?
We're having them all together, we work together. I want my young people working in with the young people who've got some disabilities and stuff, and the ones that may be good at this and good at that, doing this and that, and that's what we did. And do you remember this performance in the Riverfront? It was 500 people in there, right? 500 people in there, and everyone was just together. When you was on stage, I think those young people that maybe had some disabilities, they jumped on stage with you, right? And it was just the best. Yeah. And also, just a little side note, the crime rate in Manly weren't none that night. Do you know what I mean? I remember the statistics.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just changed the subject.
No.
I've changed the subject there.
No, you haven't, because we're talking about the youth services, what they provide. We're also letting the people know what legal and general was, but at the same time, we're making people aware of what the youth service does. There was no crime that night.
There was nothing.
So 6 days a week when I was young and the youth club was open, imagine what the crime rate was like then, if it was like that all over Newport.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, that legal and general thing, to cut a long story short, we worked with loads of different young peoples, all different levels. We went up to Sereni doing workshops and everything, which is an amazing hospital for young people. And we done this spectacular performance. Some people have videos made and done this, and it actually won the best workshop award in Wales that year. Me and Reece Eaton, remember? We went down with
to the awards. I remember the time.
Yeah.
I remember the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
It was brilliant. Really, really good.
So we're going to move off we've touched on the youth services. They're still thriving and they're still going. You've done amazing things through them and what we get from them. There was also in the leisure centre a B-boy championships, was a breakdancing championships.
Yes.
And that was annually, if I'm right. It was yearly. Did you play a part in anything of that?
Yeah, so my role, I was just on the board really for the B-Boy Champs, and I would help out. I would do a lot of driving, pick people up, organising and stuff like that.
Yeah, alright, amazing. So what's your favourite part? Like, obviously producing and scratching, but is there any elements of hip-hop? People say like there's graph, there's breaking, there's all that. Are you a fan of every element of the hip-hop?
So I do love
what it all stands for.
Yeah, I do love all the elements and stuff. I do love all the elements. Beats, so watching people make beats and stuff and hearing the beats and rhymes, that's
really what does it.
I mean, and that's for a lot of people. You've got the graph, they've got the graph writers. I mean, look at the graffiti people do.
They're amazing.
It's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're out there doing graffiti. You've got the beatboxers, the DJs, the breakers. It's brilliant.
Okay. We're on all of that. We're going to skip forward a little bit. I had the 5 in the booth that people might be aware of. People might not be aware of. The reason I had the 5 in the booth was because you put an event on. Brought Charlie Sloth down. Mm-hmm. I've skipped forward a little bit too much. I was going to mention when I went and watched Charlie perform, because you booked Charlie to perform as an artist. So Charlie was an artist before a DJ. Jamie booked him as an artist. I watched him upstairs in the Cotton Club, which was Iffy's venue on the top floor. Fast forwarding then, I'm making my music. I'm creating my music, my tracks through Jamie's studio. And Jamie's put an event on and brought Charlie Sloth down. Jamie, can you just give us the people a quick briefing on what your aim was with getting Charlie down at the time, and what led you to getting Charlie down?
Okay, so we started to put on like music industry days and stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason to get Charlie Sloth down was definitely at the time he was the DJ or presenter on One Extra that everyone was listening to. He also had Fire in the Booth. So it was like, my friend Tom had a massive connection with him. Tom used to book him for a load of shows and stuff. So we had a connection to him anyway. So I asked the young people, who do you want? And it was obviously Charlie Slough. So I'm ringing him saying, can you come up? Can we do some performances? Can you do an industry panel talk discussion? I want you to tell them how to get their stuff on radio, on some steps, and maybe, you know, get one or two of them on your fire in the booth. Yes, James, no problem. And that's what we did. And that's what we did.
So I know you build friendships with people, and when you do build friendships with people, it's up to them to break it, because you're a loyal man. So, you know, the Charlie was just quick at this. Yeah, it wasn't even nothing to Charlie, because you'd obviously previously been, but you and your friend Tom had been booking him and whatnot. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So then I went on to do the 5 in the booth, so people wouldn't have known. That was because Jamie put the event on, and I ended up entering the competition and went to do that. So I had Jamie as well as Charlie and myself to thank for that. Jamie played a big part in it.
You smashed it, by the way.
This podcast is You Smile, I Smile podcast, and the people at home I've made aware from the first episode, the name it's been called You Smile, I Smile because of our good friend Smokey. Smokey used to come to the studio, quickly just touch in, just for the people and whoever's watching. Have you got a memory that you can remember of you and Smokey? Oh, you got a couple of listeners anyway.
Yeah, I'll just be really quick. I knew he was the guy that was putting on all the videos, and everyone turning up the car park and spitting and rapping at each other. And let me just say this very clearly: this guy, you could be in a room of 100 people, and he'd be talking to you, and it'd just be you and him, and it'd make you feel it's just you and him. But one of my favourite memories of him, so I shouldn't say him, of Smokey, is Jamie. He rings me up. I want to record a freestyle today, and we're going to do the video today, etc., etc. I'm like, okay, mate. He turns up with this suit, military suit on and everything, hair out here, stripes on it, stick, glasses, the lot.
And some Black Panther stuff.
Yeah, Black Panther stuff. A DJ Premier beat, and we've done it. And he'd done it, yeah. But he'd come in and for me, it was a memory. He was a man on a mission that day, and we'd done the song. And he'd done the video, and he'd done his job.
And I still go back and listen to that. That's my go-to when I go listen to it. There's a lot of freestyles and stuff I can listen to with Smokey, but I always go back to that track.
One.
Yeah, it's not.
He made it happen, Gavin, and that is what Smokey was about, making it happen.
Tell me about it. Listen, Jay. I told everybody, I love my music, I love creating, I love this type of stuff, I love everything to do with that. But I'd like to take it further, to keep on, for someone to tell me we can do it. It was him who made me do that, so it's brilliant. Jim, Jurassic 5, worldwide famous. I hate the word famous. I shouldn't hate. Actually, I don't hate. I dislike famous. But there's no denying that a worldwide hip hop group, Jurassic 5. You had a relationship with members of Jurassic 5, and I met Akio, the MC, in Newport numerous amount of times, and I can say that I got a friendship with Akio through you. It's not to be taken lightly yet. Can you tell me how that came around?
Yeah. First of all, when Gavin says relationship, nothing like that, guys. But good friends, good friends.
Yeah.
It's just my humour, that is.
Yeah.
So this is how
I remember I'm doing it. Yeah.
This is how it happened. Going back to B-Boy Wells one year, they need a rapper. They need a rap act. So I've gone on the hip hop site. Akio, the MC from Jurassic 5 is available on these months. Guys, what about him? They said, yeah. So I've emailed the guy that's doing it, a guy called Tom Sweetman, right? Never heard of him before. Is he available? How much is he? Brilliant. I go back to the board and the people, he's this much, he do that, and he can do it. Brilliant, book him. Yeah, we're booking. Tom turns up on the day with a sleepy Akio in the back. They've come back from a gig abroad that got busted and they didn't get paid. Do you know what I mean? So they're thinking, who's these Welsh guys? Are we going to get paid? First thing I did was put their money in their hand when they turn up. I don't know, it must have meant to be. Do you know what I mean? And they come in the arena and just saw it. Do you know what I mean? And that was that. And we clicked straight away. We absolutely clicked straight away. This was the first booking I'd ever done, mine booking. They sent a rider. Do you know what I said? I said, you cheeky lot. I said, you can buy it out your fee.
Smoked salmons.
Yeah, I said, you buy it out of fee, that's what I paid for. Yeah, so it was a learning curve. But I've got to say, since that day, we've all been connected. travelled the world. Me and Tom are best friends. As you know, I go to Thailand a lot. You know Tom very well.
Yeah, big up
and
Tom.
he's just an amazing guy. Akil again, an amazing person to travel with. We got him some gigs in Wales that even on that stay they had. Then some more. I've ended up travelling the world with these people, DJing and acting as tour manager.
Amazing,
you know and that's what got me into tour managing. I didn't even know I was tour managing, but I was. Do you know what I mean?
This wasn't even in my questions to give you. Just mentioned tour managing. I went to watch J. Cole in the Newport Arena before. I don't know if it is what it is. I went to watch J. Cole in the Newport Arena. And I'm stood there. Boom. Pusha T's warming up. Pusha, am I right in saying Pusha?
Pusha T, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm watching J. Cole. Right, and I'm stood there with a couple of the boys, and I look to the right hand side, and here comes Jamie Winchester floating through the arena, suit and tie, maybe not the tie, suited up, dapper. What are you doing here? Oh, mate, I'm going a little bit of a meeting or whatnot. Jamie's out the back, innit, with the J's and the Pushers. A couple of days later, I think you had told me, or you'd even gone then. I think you'd have to go. You went. You was Pusha T's tour manager for a while, and I was ringing you, and you was like, you was in this at this time. Nicki Minaj is absolutely killing it, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. Nicki's still a top artist worldwide, anyway, isn't she? But the phone calls I was having with you, and you was like, yeah, mate, Nicki's by the with like you know what I mean. The people that you was with and the places you was with, I could chuckle a bit because I was in there and I seen you in a suit and tie and you were sorting out a meeting with the people. And then you went with people. Can you just tell the people what it was like for being a tour manager for A-star? Am I right? That's an A-star celebrity, isn't it? There's a different leagues.
Say, yeah, he's
different leagues,
isn't it? Brilliant, yeah. So first of all, thank you to Simon Green, who was Wu-Tang Clan's tour manager and stuff like that. He got me this job. Do you know what I mean? He rang me up. I was in Thailand 2015. He goes, Jamie, what are you doing on such and such months? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean? And he went, well, this opportunity's come up. You're the only person I can think of. Boom, boom, boom. I said, okay, meet him in Birmingham. That's where the first J. Cole show was, Pusha T and Janae Aiko.
Yeah. Why are you so afraid?
That's it. So I met him up there. I just met him up there, and I was just there really. And then I remember going on stage in Birmingham and putting Pusha's set list down, you know, taping it down. And I heard someone go, "Winchy!" And the crowd up there. And I was like, "All right." So I was walking like the peacock, and then we met in Cardiff, and I had a meeting with Stephen Victor, who's Pusha T's manager. Pop Smoke's manager he was as well. Do you know what I mean? Rest in peace, yeah. And out the back he goes, yo, Jamie, just understand, you know, you're willing to come aboard. I spoke to Simon and okay, man, and we spoke and he said, let's do it. He said, you'll get some emails off me. Anyway, a few weeks later they all started coming in and it's the emails and they're obviously the shows that have been booked that I now have to advance all over Europe, some in America and stuff. I just had to do it. And going on tour with these guys, I've got to tell you, right, these guys are impeccable people, impeccable, lovely, respectful, lovely, hard-working men. Do you know what I mean? They showed me so much love and respect, Gavin. My first two shows, I didn't quite have it because I don't know. It's like going on a date, I suppose, or something. You don't know what they like to eat and drink. But on the third one, I had it, and I'll never forget. I'd come off stage, we got them in the van at the back. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And I felt so good. They made me feel good. Do you know what I mean? And these guys were just fantastic to work with. Pusha doesn't stop working. Stephen Victor doesn't stop working. No. And
since Eclipse, he was Eclipse only at one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And like I said, I was treated so well by them and the team in America that I had to work with and stuff. And it was just brilliant. It's a good experience for me. It was a good experience. It's a buzz for the family. Do you know what I mean? And it was just really nice. I met some lovely people on the road, and it's just great, Gavin. Really, really was.
Yeah. It's just amazing, isn't it? Like, you know, and even for me to know someone, it's just you're not far away from someone who's not far away from. You're always 5 people away from someone who you want to get hold of, no matter where they are, how far away it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jay, moving forward. I'm just going to throw this off. This is a bit different, but at the minute in your studio, off the top of your head, what I want you to do is, can you tell me 5 artists that you see in your studio either weekly, fortnightly or on a monthly basis that are still creating music and then they're consistently in creating? I don't need to know if they got hundreds of thousands of whatever they got. Can you just tell me, even if it's not 5, go on 3 or 4 names that we can chuck at you, shine some light on people that are in there working?
No worries. So you got your Truth.
Truth.
Isaac George, who's incredible writer. Man Like Vision.
Yeah.
Miss Faith.
Miss Faith.
What am I doing this for? What am I doing? Miss Faith. You got your Traumatics. He's always in. Richie Rich coming in. Lovely guy. Richie Rich.
Yeah.
I had Carson in the other day.
Yeah.
I could just probably
we're going to stop it there. I'm just going to tell the people the reason why I've asked Jamie that is because social media is crazy. There's a lot of artists that can go to the forefront of the social media, and then there's other ones that can slip under there. There's music being released every single day, and there's some people that are releasing music, and the reach that they got with their music means that you don't get to know them. Just wanted Jamie to let you know that these are local names, South Wales artists. I think Faith is a Welsh girl, but she's based in Wales, if I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah.
She flies the flag for the country. Well, no, she doesn't. She flies the flag for herself. She's based here. I just wanted Jamie to tell us a couple of names that are used in the studio. So it was Truth, it was Vision, it was Faith, Mr. Traumatic, and there's a boy called Richie Rich as well. If there's anyone who wants to follow them on any social medias, feel free. Jamie, Lady Leshurr. You got a very good relationship with Lady Leshurr. Management, just friends. I don't like the classes as management. You're the team, is what I see.
Yeah.
The journey with Leshurr, we're not going to go into it too deep because one day I'll have Leshurr on the pod and we'll talk a bit more and Leshurr can speak for herself. Just for yourself as the journey, I know you was there with through the journey before Leshurr won a Mobo Award. I remember watching the Mobo Awards the one evening and there you are, Jamie Winchester stood on the stage, proud as punch with Lady Leshurr for winning her Mobo. Can you just talk to me about that experience?
That experience there was it was really nice. We was in Glasgow. I drove up to Glasgow for that. I took Melicia's sisters up with me. We met up there and then we turned up at the arena. Leshurr was already in there and there's the table at the front. You got all these big seats. You know, the label put that on and we're just waiting for the nominees and for the awards to come up now, and then her name comes out the hat. And
there was not one. There was you know when I watch these people win the Mobo Awards, right? Or win an award.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's something in me that makes me think that they've been told they've got it before they do it. Was there no insight or was there no hint or anything to let Leshurr know you got to be in the? Yeah. I think you're in the top 2. Fasten your laces, get your speech ready.
There's two sides of this. The one side, I'll let Meliciah tell you it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
up
we're going to leave this in a minute.
That's up to Meliciah to talk about. The other side is, I think if you're asked to go and you need to be there, there's a chance that you're going to get something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they pulled their name out, when they called Meliciah's name out, because this is 2016, so I'd already been working with her since, I don't know, 2010 anyway.
Yeah.
It was incredible. She said, Winch, take me up. Take me up. She literally said that. Take me up there. We went up the wrong bloody stage, didn't we? We went up the stage because we saw these people clapping. We're walking that way. We got up the stage. Switched it was, but that's us. That's what we do. Yeah. And in the end of the day, we got extra 10 seconds airtime. Yeah. That was the plan, honest. Yeah. And it was great.
Through the big lap.
That's right, yeah. And then we done that. Meliciah done a lovely speech. Afterwards, there was a party. And then afterwards, I had to drive back to Newport because I had 40 kids coming in. Right?
I've definitely mixed.
Right. I had to get Joel in. You remember Joel, our lovely Joel?
Good man, Joel.
Yeah, and so I landed in Newport at 8 o'clock. I had a seat in the car for an hour, and then they all turned up and I had to put a big smile on. I was very tired, but it was great. And then
you wanted beans on toast until whoever's sleep in bed.
I did,
have it.
Yeah.
Jane, what's your opinion on the current state of, not the state, because it's not in the state. What are you on about, Gav? Bear with me, this is only like the 5th episode. But what's your opinion on the music industry in the UK right now? the artists, maybe not so much the industry. What's your opinion on the music in the UK at the minute and what's going on?
Okay. So this is the mad thing. Like, I know there's loads of good music out there, but where's the communication gone where we can get it and stuff so much? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go on.
Do you think the social media side of things and sponsors and into ads, marketing, people putting more money into there's money behind certain artists that can push a piece of content to gain more traction and whatnot? Do you think that for an independent artist these days, maybe that's, like you said, there's so much good music being made, but do you think it's going under the radar because when someone goes into these labels or they have a certain they got backing by labels or they got people in management and they know what they're doing, do you think that's what it is? It's just there's like a handful that go out to the top in the A-list on radio, and there's certain artists that are doing really well and can't get C-list on the radio. Yeah, so I mean, this is a big conversation to have. I know we haven't got time today, but right, how do I put it? I know that there's some brilliant music that I will like, you might not like, etc. There's brilliant music out there, we just got to find it. Yeah, if you put a load of ad money on and stuff and you put in the right place and the help, you got a load of people behind you, it's their job, that's what they do, compared to an artist who may be really gifted at music but doesn't know the business, doesn't know what to do, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a big game, but you know, so what's the music scene like? I've been to a couple of gigs lately and it's been blimmin' amazing. I listened to Adam Walton's show the other night. We had a conversation about it. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Can we just take 2 minutes? Adam Walton, you're a diamond. Thank you for the support over all of the years. Yeah. But as Jamie was just touching on, we had a conversation the other day, and I was so pleased that Jamie reminded me actually to how much the show is amazing. It's amazing. And you as a presenter it's like an Edinburgh of the radio. It's the best. Yeah. Like honestly, I'm going to be honest, I hadn't listened to it for a long time. I listened to it because Faith had a song coming on there. Yeah. But I listened from the beginning to the end. Yeah. And every song I loved. Yeah. It didn't matter what genre it was. Yeah. This guy knows how to pick music. Yeah. He reminded me of John Peel. John Peel used to pick music he liked. It might be punk, rock and roll, whatever. Adam Walton and his voice, listen, we need to just get him going even more. Yeah. Bring him on here as well. He's seasoned. He's so amazing. Consistent. Amazing. So when we talk about the scene, I don't know about the scene so much. There's always better we can do, or there can be, and it will be. But let me tell you, there's some good artists out there, and good bands, and good everything. We went to watch Children of Zeus a couple of weeks ago. What was that like? Just incredible, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Coney, Cone and Tyler, they just like they are their tracks, let me tell you. Do you know what I mean? And here's the mad thing. What club was we in? Globe. So let's quickly, I know we haven't got much longer. No. But when you talk about the scene, the Globe, it was in the Globe, right? Great venue, great history, and great people there all night, great people organising it. I don't know how many people were there, right? Then they can sell out in London. I know London's a bigger place. Brixton twice. Brixton 2 nights in a row. There you go. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If people know something's on, if they don't know something's on or don't know there's new bands here, how are they going to listen to it? So we got to work this out somehow. We have. Do you know what I mean? And we will. I'm checking this back. I don't think I've thrown it in. I was in the studio a couple of weeks back. We looked to the right hand side and I laughed. It was tons of magazines. What did magazines mean to you when you was growing up? Oh, well. What did they do for you? Because we're on a bit of information, this is why I just chucked it in. So my hip hop connection and my blues and souls and echoes, yeah? So I'd order it, my Cumbrian store, there's a little news agent in there. You pick the magazine up, you look at the hip hop top 10, the soul top 10 or whatever. I've got to listen to that, go into Woolworths or whatever, you'd order it and buy it. Do you know what I mean? And there'd be a tape stuck on the front of some of them. So you put your trust in the publisher, didn't you? Yeah, there was someone published, there was someone writing that, and you was putting your trust in there. That was my information, Gavin. That was my information. I'd go and buy that then. And if they had these charts now,
you know, we'd have to, how do we do them? I don't know, like, but I know what I like, and if there was a chart that, you know, there's a million people like me who like that sound, a million people like that sound, where some sort of chart that just comes out. I don't know how it works.
Do you think there's too much information? There's so much information that it's hard to get, like, do you know with the magazines, say we got 5 magazines, for instance, that are, I don't know, we're not going to mention no names, but let's say, for instance, there was 4 or 5 magazines, they was all based on art, music, you know what I mean, stuff that we're into. So you're going to go to one of them 5 magazines, whether it was changing weekly, that was where you're getting your information from. Now you can, there's so many platforms to go.
It's all over the place.
You don't know, like, do you think that's the problem?
Well, is that the problem? It could be the problem.
Oh, no, it's not a problem. It's a blessing, but is it like oversaturated?
Listen, there's so much information.
And there's always more coming.
And maybe all you're doing is reading information and not doing nothing. Do you know what I mean?
I've been a victim. I was a victim to that for years.
And 1 minute you think, oh, I'll do that, and then you hear something else, oh, I'll do that. Listen, if you're an artist, for me, sorry, just make the best music you can make.
Because that's your product, isn't it?
Where do you like buying your cakes?
Oh, don't Ren's Bakery.
Why?
It's the best.
Okay, where should I? What group's song should I buy? Let's say Children of Zeus. Why? Because they're amazing. I love their music. So start with the music. Get the music banging. Get it banging. And be you. Start with the music.
Do you know? Sorry.
Go on. We're on one now.
Yeah, every time you say that, I froze myself. Mr. Woodnote, saxophone player, loop stationist. I got a good relationship with him, and there was one thing that struck me with Mr. Woodnote when I first met him, is how much he loved his saxophone.
Yes.
Might say that he's a saxophone player, he's meant to love his saxophone, but I mean that it was in his, he was playing whenever he could play, and it was just so much, it was, and we had a conversation at one time, and he travelled the world in and out, he's been all over the shop because of the saxophone, right? So I asked for some advice, like, we was just having a conversation, it might not be so much advice, and he said to me, do you know the only thing you have to worry about, because we was having a conversation about the videos, the photos, all the other stuff and everything that comes with it. He just said, you've got it all wrong. He said, you write lyrics and you make tracks, didn't you? I said, yeah. He said, that's all you've got to concentrate on. He said, the rest comes, the money, the travelling, the whatever it is that you want that is outside of the music.
Yeah.
He said, you've got it wrong. Make the music, and now all of the stuff that comes with it comes after. The good music first.
Yeah.
If there's any advice you could give to an artist, young artist, old artist, any artist, it could be a musician or anyone, what would it be?
Okay, so again, this is my opinion, from my heart and my soul or whatever. But like, okay, what sound you want to be? Okay, like visualize, close your eyes. What do you want to do? What sound do you want to be doing? Do that then, and stick with it. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy it. Make the best music you can make. Right? Make the best music you can make. Network with people. Try and do collabos with, okay, let's say we live here in Newport. Try and do a collabo with people in Bristol, Liverpool, London, Manchester, Cornwall, wherever. Network, build that up and build up. Make really good music, the best you can, and study the music industry as well. Study copyright, study ownership. Do you know what I mean? It's very important. When it all starts to work in your head and you understand it, you'll understand if it is music you want to do for a living, you'll understand why you're making it and how it can pay you.
Yeah.
But also find a route to fund your music. Get a job, don't matter what it is. Get up, have a routine, go to work, make some money, come home, switch off, make music. How are you going to do music if you ain't got money?
Thank you very much.
Like when none of us have got, when we got money, we feel low, don't we? Anyway.
Yeah. So there you go. If there's any artists that are watching this, and you just listen to what Jamie said, I'm also. How can I say it? Well, what Jamie's just said is what I didn't do. But like, blunt as it is, and be honest with myself. I'm being honest with myself.
Okay.
I didn't get a job to fund myself. I had money, bits and bobs there, but the easy money is not hard earned, so you don't put it into your heart. So I never had that, if that makes sense.
I understand, yeah.
Collaboration, networking, I wasn't doing. All of these things that I could make music all day, never studied the business, where they should have went, never copywriting. I've only had Spotify for a certain amount of years, and Spotify was available to me from over 10, 12 years ago, and I should have been on it from then. I wasn't doing it. All of this business stuff which you've just told the people, if there's anyone that knows me and know how long I've been doing music, then a great part of the reason why it never escalated into a business yet, mind you, yet. The reason why I didn't do that and it's took me so long is because I didn't do the homework on everything. So this is why I've asked you. So if there's anyone listening, you know Jamie, and if you know me from my music, it's only the truth, isn't it? Perfect. Jamie, if there was anything you could say to humanity, and if there was a message you could send it to humanity, and it would land on every set of ears on the planet, just a sentence or two that you could tell humanity, what would it be? To the world.
To the world, I'd probably just say, just stop a minute. Just stop. Do you know what I mean? Have a think, what's going on? Just stop.
Stop.
Just stop a minute and just think.
Have a think.
Yeah. And then get back up and let's just reset this world and just start again in many different ways. Continue doing the good stuff that we do, but let's think of others more. Let's lose the ego, right? Let's have peace. Let's be able to sleep at night and go, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, people mistake happiness with peace, don't they? The two different things. Yeah. Happiness is momentarily, peace we can keep inside, but we're searching for that.
That's it. Think about other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people are just in a hole, Gav. Do you know what I mean? And we're just walking over it.
Yeah.
Let's do what we can. Within our eyes, we can't help something going on. We can't help what's going on in Australia or wherever. I'm not saying, but when you walk up and get out your house and you got eyes, and if you see something, you can probably help out a bit. If we can just start by that, it might spread.
Yeah, well, because it's infectious, isn't it? People latch onto that, like, you know.
Yeah. Keep it
simple.
simple.
Well, if I do, like, you know, I try my best every day to try my best. I'm not perfect, man. I'm a work in progress. I try my best to be as polite as I can. I try my best to keep my manners where they're meant to be respectful to my older people. And see, when I have a day when I'm on the point and I let nothing get in the way of me being out of character the way I don't want to be, it makes me feel, I feel amazing. Just from having a day of good deed, just from a day of being nice. So imagine, like you say, if we was all doing that, well, the place the world would be. Is there any platforms where, would you like to tell the people where they can find you? What platform where they can find you? And if they wanted to use, if there's any singers, rappers, producers, anyone that needs the studio space, and they'd like to use your services, where can they contact you?
I love Instagram, do you know what I mean? So you can just find me on Jamie_Winchester on there, or Play It Loud Studio UK, which is quite a new page on there.
So, sorry to repeat this, because I'm pretty sure you heard what you said. Jamie Winchester on Instagram, Jamie_Winchester. If you hit Jamie up on the Instagram, I'm pretty sure he'll reply to you within the first couple of hours if there's anyone who needs to use the services. Jamie, I have a good friend Mark, who's the man sat behind the editing, sweet editing. He likes me to keep them to 45 to 50 minutes. We're currently sitting on 1 hour and 10.
We could go another 10 hours.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to your face and then to the camera how much you mean to me. Thank you so much for our friendship over the years, for being a mentor, keeping me right at the right times, and just giving me good words of advice at times when I needed them, and times when I was surrounded by people that couldn't give me the advice. Sorry about this, the dog. People couldn't give me the advice that I probably needed, and it's not their fault either. They was just in a place where they couldn't give me the advice. So you've always been there to give me that advice, and you're just a great friend. I was going to touch on the fact that I know Dad, your father, but I'm glad that we never really got into that, because I know that I would have been putting the tissues out left, right and centre, because you're both emotional. Yeah, just thank you so much for coming here today.
No,
thank you for everything you've done for me and you continue to do for everybody else. And just keep being you for us, because we need you, like, you know.
Keep being you for me then, and that's a deal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And thank you for having me. Thank you for your lovely assistant over there, and thank you for Mark for having us.
Yeah.
And Ruby.
And you know what? as I was just talking, I could feel myself getting a little bit TV, right? And I'm glad that I never went in too much today to talk to Gavin like it, and we would have both been in this, but we could, and there'll be a part 2 of this podcast with me and Jamie. Because like I say, we've got 45 minutes to an hour, so we try to rush, not so much rush through things, but try and get as many things in as we can. And there's still things that are on my list here that I've wrote that we haven't touched on, but I've tried to get in the best I can. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and you've got a little bit more of an understanding about Jamie. For those who knew him beforehand and for those who didn't, amazing. Again, thank you for everybody that's tuned into these episodes. We're going to keep these episodes coming weekly. You smile, I smile. Thank you very much. Mark has just came in. He's given me this and told me to do this. God bless you all. Thank you for listening.